Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so this is SSR4, the Kedama Takeover. First thing you'll notice is this file is not empty, but it has 0 stars. That is because the switches in this game are broken. So I need to specially prepare a file that has all the switches already pressed, but still has 0 stars. Oh no. So that, you know, when I get to the places where the switches should be in the game, I can pretend that I press them and then be able to use what they're supposed to do. Another thing you may notice is I just spawned back inside of the level that I was in when I collected the star, which means I get to keep all coins and such instead of having to collect any coins that I already had again. Now that's not going to be as relevant in 35 star as it would be in 97, but in the next course. Course 5, I'm actually going to get the red coin star, which means that that fact will actually be somewhat relevant in this round. Although I think that's the only time that it matters. But yeah, the downside to this is that if you die, you spawn outside the level, and therefore you lose all your coins. So that star right there that I just passed by is actually a fake star. All it does is warp you to the place in the level as if you had collected a star, but it doesn't increase your star count because it doesn't count as an actual star. Yeah, that's exactly what Jarb said. The rules are such that... Okay, so the way the switches work in this game is that there are separate ROMs that contain... like, each switch has its own separate ROM that just warps you, like, right to a level with the switch in it. But it shares the same save file as the original ROM, so you have to switch to those ROMs, press the switch there, and then use the same save file that you press the switch on to make the switch activate in the original ROM. Since you don't want to be switching ROMs in the middle of a speedrun, because that's really awkward, we decided to make the rules such that oh yeah, and those ROMs, you know, generally can't be accessed until you get a password to open a zip file that has the ROM in it. And then once you open the zip file, you can get the ROM and so on. And the password to those folders is, you know, in the main ROM, there are signs that have the password to the corresponding switch. So the rule is you have to read that sign in order to use that type of block corresponding to the switch. Oh dear. Okay, no, we're good. Well, that was close. The switches are not actually Kaze's fault, as far as I know. The camera, however, is Kaze's fault. Although, basically the camera is your locked-in Mario cam, and which, in this run, that doesn't matter. Because the Lakitu cam is not parallel cam in this game, so it's not like having access to Lakitu cam would make anything any better. Wait, what? The estimate says 35? No, it should be 45. Oh, man. Okay. No, the world record's like 41 or 42 right now, Jarp. I just haven't, well, I think world record is lost to, like, the past broadcast got deleted and I didn't highlight it because I thought I would get a better one. Because I was, like, PBing every time I finished a run. Because, like, it's that bad. Okay, we got it this time. Hopefully these don't go all the way. Okay. Jeez, that was... No, see, when AgLab inputted all the data into the script that updates all the stuff, because I think on the sheet I had it as 35, but then later changed it to 45 because that was a mistake. So when AgLab inputted all the data, he must have taken from the sheet and put 35 before it got changed, and then never changed that, and then I didn't notice that when I was doing the info for this, so it didn't get changed. Alright, so yeah. Also, all the levels are interconnected, with, like, the entrance to one level being, you know, hidden in the one before it. Although... But yeah, and since dying takes you out of the level, it basically puts you in the previous level, which, when dying in Course 5, it takes you to Course 4, which is where I am now, because I went from Course 1 into Course 5. So you can often go places just by dying and get to a new course, which will actually happen a decent amount in this run. And I think I actually pretty much use most of these 10 lives that I started with, although the fact that I lost one in Course 5, hopefully that doesn't become an issue. I think I used like 8 lives in the Death Warp before I save quit to travel back to the beginning. So yeah, the wall on this cliff is a little bit weird, because in most places it's not actually a wall. It's just like either a very steep floor or a very steep ceiling. So that one place that I wall kicked off is like the one place you're able to wall kick on the wall. Oh yeah, also all the enemies are much more dangerous in this game. The Goombas are faster and do more damage, and, well, that's pretty much the only change, but... Alright, the Sniffets also shoot, like, 6 shots instead of 3, or maybe even more than that, I don't really remember how many. Alright, so now we go here, and I can't use that box because I didn't read the yellow sign. And I actually never will read the yellow sign for this round because it's just any percent, so I don't need it. So where I'm going now is to get the pink switch, which is necessary in order to reach the second boss level. Okay. But usually that's behind the key 1 door, and you'd have to like travel through the entire overworld, well, the entire like web of interconnected levels in order to reach it. But there is a warp from course 3 into course 9, just not to the main part. But if I manage to kill myself as I enter, I will then die. This will warp me back to course 8, from where I can enter into course 9. And this brings me to the main entrance of course 9. And by doing this, I'm able to bypass getting key 1, which means I don't have to take this long elevator ride to kill a bully. And that saves a ton of time. Alright, and here is the sign corresponding to the pink switch, which the boxes contain cannon bombs. So I've read the sign, now I'm able to use pink boxes. Alright, so first pink box I'm using is right here, after the warp. Boom. Opens the cannon in course 9, which I'm going to use to get a star later. Okay, so now since I can't go back to the rest of course 9 from there, I'm going to go to course 3, grab a few stars. Okay, so the camera there is a little sketch, but, you know, usually Mario Cam's good. Okay, just one more star here, then we're going to go back into course 9 to get stars from the second part of the game. The game's basically divided into 3 parts: courses 1 through 5, courses 6 through 10, and then courses 11 to 14. Each one's separated by a key door. So by going from course 3 to course 9, we're skipping the first key door. So I'm going to have to do that skip again because I'm not in the second part of the overworld anymore. Yeah, this is 35 stars, so the extra course does not come into play. Oh yeah, and the way I managed to die is actually kind of unique, because it wasn't known to be possible until, like, after... Yeah, I guess there's a whole story behind, like, how this was discovered, but... What you have to do is be falling at maximum speed and be at a certain height and then dive, and that will allow you to take fall damage when you're on snow, because normally if you land from a high on snow, you just get stuck in the snow and don't take any damage. But in order to somehow make yourself take damage, probably due to an oversight in how the game was coded, I'm guessing? I forgot to get Star with the Cannon. That's what I should be going from that entrance, so I just lost a bit of time due to that. But hooray for Toxic Mate. So anyway, story behind Key 1 skip. Alright, so it was theorized that yes, if you could manage to die in that little area that you can access from Course 3, then you could do exactly what this is. Oh gosh, whatever. That actually might matter though, because lives. We shall see. If it does end up being a problem, what I can do is not Death Warp from Course 8 to Course 7. It'll cost a little bit of time, but, like, it'll save me a life, which will be helpful for death warping later. Because that's the death warp that probably costs the least amount of time. Okay, so over here now, there's another star. Okay, story behind Key 1 Skip. So because the whole fall damage on snow thing wasn't known, but, you know, I still theorized that, yeah, if you could manage to die and enter that loading zone at the same time, it would warp you in this way, and then you would have Key 1 Skip. But I couldn't think of any way to actually kill yourself as you enter that loading zone, because there are no enemies nearby that could deal damage to you and then push you into the loading zone. And I thought you couldn't take fall damage on snow, because, you know, the fact that you get stuck there. There's, like, one exception that I didn't know about until, like, much later. Okay. So then Star Revenge 4.5 came out, which is basically a remake of this game with much nicer looking levels, with functioning switches, and the endgame changed up quite a bit. Yeah. So, in that game, there's a bomb right next to the entrance that goes from Course 3 to Course 9. And as a result, we're able to kill ourselves using that and get there. So Key 1 Skip in 4.5 was found, like, almost immediately when it came out. And this was before it was implemented in original Star Revenge 4, even though the idea came from Star Revenge 4. And then eventually I accidentally discovered that I somehow managed to take fall damage on snow, and then just recreated how that happened, and then managed to understand the mechanic, and then found a way to implement that into Star Revenge 4. Alright, those jumps are a bit scary because, you know, the shrink platforms are pretty small, and if you stay on them too long, then they disappear, and, you know, it can get pretty awkward. But luckily I know that you can just do a running single jump, and that will always give you enough momentum to get where you need to go. And so, as long as you make sure you hold the right directions and run and jump, you know, you don't really get issues. Oh yeah, that's true, John. I forgot about that. That BLJ is kind of awkward, though, because you have to go at a weird angle and then make use of it. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, like, I theorized about BLJing that. Like, I really did, and I tried, and I couldn't get it to work. And it wasn't until JARP figured out how to do that I realized it was possible. So I just did... Wait, yeah, that's all the stars I need there. What am I doing? Don't miss a cycle. Okay, made the cycle. Hopefully. This Goomba... Alright, nice. Anyway, so that's basically how Key 1 Skip works. Fall damage on snow. Anyway. So now this pipe should lead back to Course 6, but unfortunately it spawns you at the beginning of Course 6. But there are some stars in Course 6 that I want to be near the Course 7 entrance in Course 6, so I'm actually going to die to spawn here, which is closer to the star I want to collect. Now, if I manage to die in this course, I have to do Key 1 Skip again, because dying here warps you to Course 2, which is, you know, the way you're originally supposed to enter Course 6 that I managed to skip doing. with key 1 skip. And it requires key 1 to get from course 2 to course 6. And so if I die, I won't be able to just re-enter course 6. So I have to not die. Well, it's not that I have to not die, it's just if I do, I'll lose a lot more time than I would for any other death in the run anywhere. Just a consequence of how the overworld of this game is laid out and how death warps work. So this Babam opens the cannon, which you need to shoot yourself over to where the entrance to the second boss fight is, to get the second key, which is actually needed because we don't have a way to skip it. Okay, so that's all the stars I get on this trip to course 6, because I'm gonna take another trip here due to the way the warps are later, but that'll be after I get key 2, so that'll be slightly safer to be here. But of course I had to get that star at least, because the cannon is on the way to it, and you have to open the cannon to get to the key 2 fight. So what I do is aim for that doorway there and bonk on there so I don't overshoot. Alright, so now I'm in the Bowser 2 level. Time Rocks Color Factor. Oh no, that's Factory of Time Problems is what it's called in this game. And guess who's causing the time problems? Yeah, that's right, Time Rock. The main villain of the Star Revenge series, Kappa. Nah, he's not really a main villain, he's just a frequently occurring villain in the Star Revenge series. Although, in Star Revenge 8, you do end up... he does end up helping you in Star Revenge 8, so... I don't know, I mean, the story's pretty complicated, alright? But this is his first appearance in any Star Revenge game. Alright, so you have to get reds. Well, you don't have to get reds here, but because you have to press a certain switch, like getting reds doesn't take much more time than just going through the level would. Alright, now for the glass part. So I can kind of use the shadows of the enemies to see where the glass is, because if they cast a shadow on the glass, you can see that shadow, which means there's glass where the shadow is. But otherwise you can't see it at all, and obviously you don't want to die because then you'd have to do the entire level again, which takes quite a while to get to that point. No, this is actually not nearly as bad as Lighthouse because this is completely flat, okay? And since it's flat, like, your height's not changing, so your depth perception of where, like, it should be, like, laterally isn't affected. And so it's a lot easier to, like, hold an image in your head of where the glass should be for some amount of time. Lighthouse is actually much worse. Time to see, time to be. Time is all around us. Something, something, something. Time to ruin the rhyme. Oh, that ground's slippery. I didn't realize that. Alright, so we got the key, so now we're gonna die so we can go to course 2 to get some more stars. Alright, so I have 3 extra lives, and I missed 2 death warps. Or, like, I didn't death warp in 2 places where I normally would have in order to save lives. So, I didn't actually need to save those lives, apparently. So we get every star here except 100 coins, if I recall. But yeah, we made it through course 6 without dying, so this run's not a catastrophe, which means we're probably making estimate. Alright. Let's just do this first, I guess. Hopefully this angle's alright. Okay, good enough. So yeah, normally you're supposed to get to this roof with a cannon shot, but I didn't want to go out of my way to open the cannon and watch the cannon opening cutscene and everything, so I just long jumped from that roof. Yeah, there's like no other way to get up there than with the slide flip wall kick ledge grab, which is kind of an advanced technique as far as, you know, ROM hack playing goes. Like, most casuals probably wouldn't think to do something like that. And to top that off, like, it's also a really small platform, so you don't have very much space to run to build up your side flip. Makes things a little bit awkward. Okay. So now I save quit. Go get MIPS. So this gives me 10 lives again, so now I don't have to worry about lives, and I can death warp all I want. So there's a shortcut that goes straight from the overworld to course 11. In order to use this, though, you need key 2. But instead of going forward from course 11, I'm going to actually go back into course 8. So that way I don't need to do key 1 skip again. And then die so that I can go to course 7, because there's a star here that I want to collect. Because, yeah, there are only 3 more courses I can access in Overworld 3. Well, I call it Overworld 3, but it's like the 3rd interconnected web of levels, which is actually entirely linear. for the third section of the game, but because you need 35 stars to access course 14, which is at the end of the chain and has the Bowser fight in it. So it can kind of be seen as like the third Bowser, or yeah, the third Bowser level. So I'm just here climbing this building of no purpose to get a star. Okay, so once again, I'm gonna die here so that I go to the right place within course 6 to go faster. And also, you'll notice that lava does 5 damage instead of 3, which, which is because Kaze wanted to show Brodute that he could make lava do 5 damage. So he just made some and put it there, because... Yeah, maybe I should explain why Kaze is involved in this hack when Brodute made it. But, okay, so basically what happened was, because this hack is open world and has no star select screens, Brodute wanted to have some way people could see how many stars are in the level. And, you know, pretty recently the green stars had come out, or at least the new version that Kaze edited to change things. Oh no. That's not too bad, because I can still just go... You know, course 11, course 8, course 7, course 6 to get back to course 6. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So it's not as bad as dying on the other trip. It doesn't take as much time to get back to the level. Yeah, so in Green Stars, they have this option where if you press the L button, it shows you which stars you've collected in the level that you're currently in, along with how many stars there are in the level total. As a trade-off, you also... Or wait, maybe you press the R button to do that? Yeah, probably. But as a trade-off, you only get access to one type of camera, which I think ends up being Mario Cam. Essentially, what Kaze did to make that happen was disable the fact that R switches cameras, you know, from Lakitu to Mario, so there's only one camera mode, and then add new functionality to the R button that makes it display what stars have been collected in your current level. So essentially what happened is that Brodute wanted Kaze to do that for this hack, because, you know, it'd be kind of... because the number of stars in each level is not the same in every main course. They all have different numbers of stars in them. I didn't need to save quit, I could have exited course, whatever, it's fine. So now I'm gonna go 11, 12, 13, 14. So Kaze took away the functionality of the R button, but then disappeared for some period of time during the period where this hack was being made, and just didn't add the new functionality, because he was just gone. So Brodute was stuck with the camera being taken away, but the new star displaying thing not there. Yeah, so you can flip through this door if you have enough speed and are going to right angle, which, come on. Alright, that should work. Why did that not work? That didn't actually translate to 5 damage lava, but apparently one of the other things Kaze did there was make 5 damage lava right there for some reason. I guess Brodute was curious about it at some point, and, come on. There we go, finally. Alright. Ah, so you have to be facing downward. Got it. So the camera's kind of messed up here because I was in water when I collected a star. And so the camera still thinks I'm in water when I respawn from collecting the star. So, yeah. But entering water again just fixes that. So when I leave water naturally, it'll go back to the way it should be. Nice corner physics. So basically, long story short, never try to collaborate with Kaze on a hack. He'll just ruin it. So, yeah, that door clip basically breaks this entire level. Rip. The estimate's actually 45, not 35, though. How could anyone else be the bad guy when Scalenio is involved? I don't buy usernames. Alright, so musical heights. Just to be safe, I'm gonna look where that star is. Yeah, okay, it's where I thought. Oh, good thing I didn't hit the invisible walls that are over that tree, because that would have killed me, and then I'd have to do the whole beginning section of the level again, instead of being able to start from, like, halfway. What about 97 star? Oh, star 97, this one that I'm about to get. Yeah, this warp right here is supposed to be a secret, essentially. And then from it, you're supposed to be able to go down here like this and get this star. But that other star I just got was meant to be reached a different way, but just being able to get on top of here happens to let you cheese it. And it makes the 97 star route a lot better. Alright, 35 stars. So now we just have to get to the end and beat Bowser. Alright, so that's the 35-star door. Now we are in the final level. Dreamy Kedama Hideout, I do believe it's called. So it's just a matter of going through here to get to the Bowser pipe. Alright, we're in the fight. Hey, I hit all 3 throws. That's a rarity for me. And we're actually gonna make estimate, despite the death in Core 6. Dang, dude. What a nut. Don't miss the star and get hit by fire. Alright, there we go. So now it's time for Unscheduled.